Joel.
So our next guest used to be Bernie Sanders' Jewish outreach director, but he now says some Dems, including his old boss, are peddling hate. Joel Rubin joins us now on this. Joel, I want to read you this from the Simon Wiesenthal Center, a major Jewish advocacy group. They write about Mamdani: "This is no longer simply about Prime Minister Netanyahu. It reflects a broader pattern in which Mayor Mamdani repeatedly singles out Israel while using the prestige of his office to legitimize rhetoric that further isolates the Jewish state and deepens division here at home." This is the much avoided issue with all of this, is that the criticism is always focused on Israel's actions, no matter what.
Yeah, look, Jillian, he's obsessed. He can't get away from targeting Israel. He can't get away from making American Jews and Jews in New York City feel deeply nervous about their safety. You got to remember, this is a mayor. He's not a Secretary of State. He's not the president. He's supposed to protect his own citizens. And in New York, hate crimes are skyrocketing against Jews. About half of all hate crimes are against Jews. Yet Jews are only 10% of the population there. But he doesn't care. He continues to traffic in anti-Semitic tropes. You know, even interestingly, with the International Criminal Court, there is an arrest warrant out for an individual from Uganda. That is the country where he was born. Why is he not talking about that? Why is he not talking about the Sudan war criminals? Why is he not talking about everybody and pushing the administration to take action? Because he's focused on Israel. He ran on this. He targeted Benjamin Netanyahu as a candidate. He's now backing off because he knows it's illegal to do what he said he would do. But he can't quit it, and that's the problem.
Joel, he's doing this as, to your point, the number of anti-Semitic incidents in this country continues to surge. I mean, this is the reality of the situation. That number has grown from 2,600 in 2013 to almost 25,000 these days. That's almost a 850% increase. I mean, this can't go on, Joel.
It can't. It's horrible. Look, as an American Jewish person who my family got here in 1905, and so we've got 5 generations of Americans in my family. I talked to my parents, cousins, you name it, just on a personal level. Everybody is nervous, and we never have experienced this before. And we need our leaders to tamp it down, not inflame it. And so what Zohran Mamdani is doing, what Bernie Sanders, and this is why I spoke out, I worked on his presidential campaign in 2020, and I am very disappointed, if not dismayed, by his willingness to not just support, but actually promote and create candidates who are trafficking in anti-Semitic tropes and trying to push them into the Democratic Party in our primary process, be it Graham Plattner, be it Said in Michigan, be it Daria Lisa, who Zohran Mamdani supported in New York, who doesn't recognize the state of Israel's right to exist. These are people who should be out, not in. And right now they're getting pushed into our system, and it's very dangerous for the American Jewish community to have to deal with this kind of hate speech on a daily basis.
Imagine a world, Joel, in which you are the mayor of New York City, the largest city in the country. You represent constituents that are from the largest Jewish community in the country. You want to have the Prime Minister of Israel arrested when he arrives here to attend a UN meeting, yet you welcome Iranian leaders who execute their own people in broad daylight, in full view of civilians every single day. You welcome leaders from China, where the regime has enslaved millions of its own ethnic minority Uyghurs. I mean, there's a whole laundry list. We can't go through every country that violates human rights here. But suffice it to say, it underscores the anti-Semitic shift that all of this is taking.
You're dropping some real truth bombs there. Let's be very clear. Israel is an American ally. Let's also be clear. It's been engaged in a war that's very controversial here in the United States, and there are a lot of people who have a lot of concerns about it. But that doesn't excuse the kind of obsessive rhetoric and hate-mongering of Israel that we currently see in our political environment. And we have to remember who our adversaries are. When it comes to Iran, as you point out, You know, the Iranians, they have sent terrorist organizations to kill Americans abroad. They commandeered and supported Hamas, who killed dozens of Americans on October 7th. They killed more than 1,000 American soldiers in Iraq during the war there. I don't understand why it seems like Mamdani and the people who are backing him are more comfortable with the Iranians, with the Chinese, with the Syrians and the Russians than they are with their own allies. But as an American Jew, I can only think of one reason why, and that's because Israel is a Jewish state. And that's deeply distressing. It has to stop. We need to straighten out our party on the Democratic side, and that's why I'm speaking out right now.
Syria, I knew I had left a good one off that list. Thank you for that,
600,000 people killed.
All right, thanks for taking time with us today, Joel. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.